Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. If you don't see your question answered on today's show, remember, you can always hit me up on IG or on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. This show was recorded on Tuesday during our live show at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. So if any of the questions that you see are outdated, don't yell at me. Just remember that they are from Tuesday. First one coming up here on the board is from Daniel Keenan. I love the caps. Mitch. What the F is Rob Ryan supposed to be doing for us? Head scratcher. Well, first off, which head are you scratching there, Daniel? Rob's just coming in here to be, I think, a senior assistant. Someone who knows the defensive side of the football. I might not be able to coach it, but I do know the Ryan family, whether you like them or not, have a lot of knowledge in terms of different defensive schemes, 3-4s especially, which is one of the reasons why I think he's in here on the Raiders. Now, let's go to Lambo Cali 89. Mitch, could the Raiders still trade for James Bradberry? I still think that it's possible. I really do. When you hear the reports out there that the Giants didn't get what they were hoping for, and I think they were hoping for like a third or a fourth round pick, and it sounds like they were getting fifth and sixth rounders. You could see teams potentially get a little bit more desperate if they don't get a certain corner in free agency still, or even a cornerback in the NFL draft. So then that's when teams get a little bit more ballsy. On top of that, if let's say James Bradberry is still available after June 1st, after June 2nd, I think then there's even more of a likely chance that a team like the Raiders, who are going to have about $20 million to spend on June 2nd, you're going to be able to see a team like that go out and potentially, yes, make a move. Super chat time. What up, Cameron? Your girlfriend versus his girlfriend in the Jello match. So Jeremy and I, Jello match wrestling. We'll see. I'm pretty sure, though, my girlfriend does not want to Jello wrestle. She's already told me I got to be at a company event later that day. So as much as y'all might want to see it, sorry, you're not going to see my girlfriend Jello wrestle. Let's go to Christopher Leonard. Mitch, any chance we go get Joe Hayden? Personally, I don't see the Raiders going out and getting Joe Hayden. He's what I would consider a little bit washed up at this point. Yes, he's had some good years in the AFC North with the Browns or with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go ahead and say no to Joe Hayden. Now, how about this, y'all? Are the Raiders going to go ahead and are they going to be making moves? Will the Raiders make another trade before the 2022 NFL Draft? We heard the reports out there that Dave Ziegler potentially wants to move up and potentially get into the second, maybe the first round. So let me know down in the YouTube comments right now, Y for yes or an N for no. What up, B-Maney? I hope that Adams stays out of trouble in Vegas. I think he will. And I think the whole Las Vegas thing gets overblown. I mean, at the end of the day, man, these guys are young. They're millionaires. They're in a big-time city. You can get in trouble in any city. You just got to make the right choices. And if I'm the Raiders this season, I invest, I don't know if I was going to say millions, but I might invest millions in terms of getting Lyft, Uber, shuttle services, whatever it takes to make sure that my players do not even think about getting in a vehicle and drinking and driving. What up, George? You're next up here. We sometimes sign great talent. We give them great money. When the season starts, we get 50% effort from those great players. Do you see it happening with Adams and Jones? The reason why I almost guarantee it's not going to happen with Davante Adams is because of the way his contract is set up. If Davante wants to make the most money possible, he needs to play well the first 3 years. Because technically, the most money that he can make is the final 2 years of his deal, but the Raiders have an out. When you think about Davante Adams' contract, I know it's 5 years, $140, but there's a potential out after the third year. So look at it as 3 years, $67.5 million, and if he plays well, then he gets $40 million and then $40 million. Chandler Jones, I mean, yes, he's getting up there in age a little bit, but Jones wanted to get paid, and every time that Jones has been out there on the field and he's been motivated, he's been a phenomenal edge rusher. And realistically, you're 3 years, $51 million. If he gets 10 sacks this season, that's worth the money. Chandler Jones is going to be a hell of a player, I promise you that. Let's go to JG. When are we getting the Raider Nation What's Going On t-shirt? I don't know. You guys want a t-shirt like that? I mean, would you guys honestly want a Raider Nation What's Going On t-shirt? I mean, we can make it. I can have my bosses cook something up. If that's something that you're looking for, give me a few yeses down in the comments. All right, y'all. Remember, if you have a question on the show, we do these mailbags all the time on our live shows, and I want you to never miss anything because the offseason, a lot of stuff can happen, whether it's in March, whether it's in April, whether it's May, June, July. You're going to get a video here on this YouTube channel every single day. Every day. And to make sure that you never miss any breaking news, also turn on those notifications. And I appreciate people that have the notifications on. I call them my Noti gang. And I love when people try to race to be the first. You know, shout out to Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. Untouchable Raider takes a lot of pride in trying to be first in every single show. So I put out a video on March 27th. Here were the top 5 commenters. Untouchable Raider 1960, Raider Rocha, CHD Squad, Raiders for Life, and then PP Fight Demon. Hopefully I pronounced that right. If you want to see yourself on a future show, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Try to be the first person to comment. Super chat time. What up, Armando? I believe Raiders should draft Chris Steele with the 4th or 3rd round pick. Could be our nickel that we needed. Mitch, what are your thoughts on it? I mean, I actually do like him in terms of being a nickel player. However, when you look at the Raiders' cornerback depth chart as it stands right now, I think that they're pretty set with Nate Hobbs, though one interesting note that I do want to go ahead and make is Josh McDaniels went ahead and he said you could see Nate Hobbs potentially play on the outside. I don't view Trayvon Mullen as being a nickel corner. I like Anthony Everett a lot also as a nickel as well. We'll see what the Raiders do in terms of going out and adding extra pieces, but Darius Phillips also was an inside corner, so I'm not 100% sure if the Raiders go out and they try to do it. Plus, you got to meet Robertson as well. What up, Derek? You're next up here, my dog. Come on, Mitch. You've been covering the Raiders long enough to know you can't just plug in any running back. Got to keep Jacobs. History shows that. I've been covering the Raiders. You're right. However, I've also seen what the Patriots have done. I've also seen what good NFL franchises have done, and they don't go out and pay a lot of money to running backs. Like, go look at the last big-time paydays that running backs have gotten, and tell me if they've been worth it. The only one that I'd say maybe is worth it is Derrick Henry, but even Derrick Henry got hurt last year. Ziegler, not worth it. Christian McCaffrey, not worth it. I'm trying to think of more off the top of my head. Like Aaron Jones, he got paid a lot of money. He's been good, but running back to me is a position that I do not want to go out and pay a lot of money to. I'd rather invest that $8 million instead of going out and giving it to Jacobs and the offensive line or more defensive pieces. Let's go to Nezzy. What up, man? Do you want the Raiders to trade Darren Waller to get into the first round? No. I do not want the Raiders to trade Darren Waller. If Waller's like, hey, pay me $16 million or I'm out, give him $16 million. This team is in win-now mode. And not only are you trying to see Darren Waller perform, you also still got to be able to make sure that you are putting as much talent as humanly possible around Derek Carr. And you have Derek Carr, you have Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Davante Adams. They're doing all the right things. And sure, a first-round pick can be great, but would anybody out there trade Darren Waller for Cleveland Ferrell, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abram, Henry Ruggs, Damon Arnett, or Alex Leatherwood? No, you wouldn't. So you keep Darren Waller. And if you guys are looking for a Darren Waller jersey, we got them available at the link as well. If you want a brand new Raiders jersey, and I mean brand new, a Davante Adams, chatsports.com/Raiders jerseys. That link is going to be available for y'all in the comments and in the description of today's video. You want a Chandler Jones? I got you. Did you see this? The second-year guys, Brian Edwards and Trevon Merrick, which now I said second year. Merrick, second year. Edwards entering his third year. They also switched up their jersey numbers here a little bit. So Merrick's going to go to 7. Brian Edwards, he tweeted out, was like, it cost me $43,000 to change it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I think it looks like that he did. So if you're looking for a brand new Raiders jersey, go to chatsports.com/Raiders jersey. Let's go to Christopher Leonard. Mitch. This O-line cannot be it. Who's next to sign to help it out? I'm going to be honest with y'all. I think the offensive line that the Raiders have right now is going to be the offensive line that the Raiders have week 1 of the NFL season. The Raiders seem like they're pretty confident in Denzel Good. Whether he plays left guard, right guard, maybe even right tackle. I see them having Brandon Parker being the starting right tackle, giving him $3.5 million. Alex Leatherwood is the really interesting option because one of the quotes that I found from Josh McDaniels extremely interesting was around Leatherwood, and basically he said they're going to put the best 5 guys out there. that might mean Alex Leatherwood on the bench because I know they're very high on Jermaine Illuminor, and if Leatherwood can't get his shit together, he's been working out really hard in the offseason. I don't know, man. It's definitely something to be interested about. However, I think this is going to be the Raiders' offensive line week 1 of the NFL season. Let's go to the next super chat coming in here from Daniel Keenan. Shout out to the 1,700 people watching. If you bleed silver and black, if you see somebody going across the street and you yell Raiders, then I want you to go ahead and like the video. I saw Graphic Raider, that's my guy. He was on Twitter and he was like, if you yell Raiders and that person doesn't yell back, then that person a hoe. Is literally what he said. That's what he said, not me. But I also agree with it because I've been to Vegas enough, and when I yell Raiders and people don't respond back, that shit would never happen in Oakland. All right, back to the question. Mitch, can we get your buddy from Twitter, oh, God, on here? We know what he does to aggravate you. He's not my buddy, pal. But, yes, I mean, that's the perfect example of why you should follow me and why you shouldn't just fall for random guy on Twitter going, breaking news, this is going to happen around the Raiders. I got you covered. Let's go to Trey. What up, Trey? When would you draft... Oh, wait, does that say? Okay. When would you draft Josh Jacobs in fantasy this year? Good question. I love fantasy football. And if anybody this year wants to play fantasy football or has any fantasy football questions, that's actually what I did before I started doing the Raiders Report here. So I love fantasy. I've been doing fantasy for 16 years in my family league. In terms of Josh, I would draft him in the second round. If you're in a standard league, I might be able to make the argument for a first-round pick. To me, Josh is going to be the running back where if he can stay healthy, he's going to have a very similar season to what Jonathan Taylor had. Maybe not as much production, but somebody who you could get not in the first round that ends up being one of the top running backs in the National Football League. So how about this? Shout out to Sam. Love this. How many rushing yards for Josh Jacobs this season? Try to predict it. How many rushing yards for Jacobs this season? If he stays healthy, I'll give him 1,350. If he doesn't 100% stay healthy and if the offensive line is as bad as it was last year, I'll put him more around the 1,000-yard mark. But I would bet a lot of money that he's going to be over 1,000 yards rushing. Let's go to Sam on. I want to just believe it, baby shirt. All right, Sam. I might be able to figure it out. And Sam, since you've sent in 20s, every 20 that Sam sends in, I'll take a shot of Fireball to that. All right, well, producer Sam, he's going to overrule me here. Every 20 that we get here on the show, shot of Fireball. Cheers to the nation. Hey, Sam, you're right. Let's go to Big Shane. How'd you get that nickname? I think we're going to see maximum effort because this team is going to have fun playing with each other. Oh, man. Carr, Adams, Crosby, Chandler is going to be infectious for the entire team. I agree with the idea of this is a very close group bunch. And yes, losing Rich Bisaccia. Yes, losing a lot of the coaches that the Raiders had last year. That's going to hurt. But you know what? I do think when you have players on the defensive side of the football, leaders like Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, that's going to push people. When you have defensive players like a Denzel Perriman, that's going to push people. When you have guys on the offensive side of the football, Davante Adams, Derek Carr, they're going to push people. And then you got this whole finding the new Raider way. You're going to see a very close group of men who I think will also appreciate, and God, I hope, that there's not as much drama this season as what there was last season. And because of that, they're going to be closer. But the key to everything is winning. And I do think that this is a good football team that's going to be winning some high-quality football games this season. Now, I don't know about y'all, but my March Madness bracket is just about as broken as can be. I mean, it looks like the Titanic, sunk on the bottom of an ocean somewhere. It's just an absolute disgrace. But how about this? There's 4 teams left in the Final Four, and I want to know who you got. Who you got winning it all? Do you think Villanova is going to win it? Type Nova. At this point, I might go ahead and root for Nova. I might also go ahead and root for Duke. It's probably an unpopular opinion. Kansas, I don't want Kansas to win. Instead of KU, I probably should have typed FU. Or North Carolina, go ahead and type UNC. Who you got? March Madness, let me know. Let's go to one of my best friends, David Zahn. What's up, my brother? Since Edwards changed his number, do you think he's going to change his level of production? It would be kind of awesome if he was able to break away from defenders. I mean, Do I think changing his number is going to result in him playing better? No, I really don't think that has any impact. I think what you're really hoping that Bryan Edwards can do, and when the Raiders had Henry Ruggs on offense, Edwards played a lot better because he got matched up in more one-on-one situations. If Edwards is one-on-one and the ball's 50-50, he's good enough to turn that into an 80-20. He's also a good red zone option. The biggest weakness for Edwards was creating separation. Edwards, this might be an unpopular opinion. I still think Edwards is a better receiver than Demarcus Robinson. However, it would not surprise me at the end of the year if Edwards loses snaps to Robinson, because Robinson, I think, creates better separation than Edwards does right now, though Edwards is a better overall athlete. Let's go to Kempo. I just ordered the 17 Tay jersey in white. Hell yeah, baby. Let's go ahead and show Davante Adams some love. Go ahead, start spamming those 17s. Let me know down there when it's coming in, because I'm hoping I get my hands on a Davante Adams jersey as well. Let's go to Pacman_831. What's up, Chugs? Mitch, what's up, my guy? What do you think about the new overtime rule? Love the show. I like the new overtime rule. And remember, it's for the postseason only. And the new overtime rule is both teams, if you score a touchdown, right? So let's say you go ahead and you score a touchdown, then the other team can go ahead, they get the ball back. They also have the opportunity to score a touchdown again. Instead of touchdown, game's over. And I like this overtime rule because you saw in the AFC game between the Chiefs and the Bills, both those offenses were moving, and you knew whatever team gets the ball first in the overtime is going to end up winning the game. I like teams. I like more excitement, and I love the new overtime rule. In fact, I wish they would go ahead and they would just put it in the regular season as well.